Hi guys! Today on the channel, we have awesome slimes and scary stories. It's going to be incredibly captivating. Love you all and thank you for your support.
On a dark and stormy evening, we decided to head to the beach. The wind was howling, and the waves crashed forcefully against the shore. Despite the eerie atmosphere, we gathered around a bonfire to keep warm. As the night progressed, we shared scary stories. Among them was a legend about a cursed beach where mysterious events took place. It was said that a dark secret lurked on that beach. People who ventured too far into the sea would vanish without a trace. Some claimed to have heard eerie whispers that sent shivers down their spines. That evening, as we stood on the beach, an unsettling tension filled the air. The water turned cold, and a dense fog rolled in. We felt an inexplicable stillness around us. When we glanced towards the sea, we witnessed the waves suddenly rising. The wind grew stronger, and we heard strange sounds, as if voices were beckoning us. One of our group, standing closer to the water, suddenly felt unwell. We rushed to help, but within seconds, they disappeared beneath the water, as if swallowed by an unseen force. Fear gripped us, and we were at a loss for what to do. We attempted to call for help, but our phones had no signal. We were trapped on that beach with a mystery we couldn't comprehend. The night grew darker, and we realized we needed to try and escape. Holding on to each other, we ran along the beach until we finally saw the lights of a nearby town. Upon reaching the town, we immediately reported the incident to the police, recounting what had transpired. However, no one could explain what had occurred on that beach. Since then, we have never returned to that beach. The legend of its curse still lingers, leaving us with an unsolved mystery. There was one night when I decided to explore an old abandoned house, rumored to have a sinister past. I've always been curious and wanted to test the truth behind those stories. As I entered, the air was thick with an eerie silence. Every step I took seemed to echo loudly in the silence. Dark shadows danced on the walls, and a cold draft seeped through the cracks. Suddenly, I heard a creaking sound above me. Looking up, I saw the dilapidated attic, from where the rustling was coming. My heart pounded harder, and adrenaline rushed through my veins. With nervous anticipation, I decided to investigate the source of the noise. Climbing up the old wooden stairs, I felt as if someone was following me. The presence was so palpable that I turned, expecting to see someone behind me. But instead, I found emptiness and only a dark mirror reflecting my tense face. The contours of my reflection looked distorted, as if someone had invaded my soul and disturbed it. A sense of unexplained threat grew, and I hurriedly descended. As I stepped on the last stair, I heard a sharp screech. Turning around, I saw a shadow slowly vanishing into the darkness of the attic. Fear consumed me entirely, and I realized I was not alone in that house. I rushed out, leaving all my questions unanswered. But since then, I will never forget that moment when I felt a touch from another world in the darkness of the attic. Leaving the house behind, I thought I had escaped the unknown terror. However, a lingering sense of curiosity gnawed at me. Determined to uncover the truth, I returned to the abandoned house with a group of friends. But as we entered, the door slammed shut, trapping us inside. The whispers grew louder, and the shadows danced menacingly. It became clear that the house was alive, feeding on our fear. It was a night of unimaginable horror, and only a few of us made it out alive, forever scarred by the malevolent presence of that haunted place.
To be honest, I can't even imagine what this child must have felt.
Once upon a time, on a late evening, I boarded an empty train heading to a remote and eerie destination. The carriage was silent and deserted, with dimmed lighting that created an atmosphere of incredible mystery. The train slowly moved through abandoned stations, like a resurrected ghost from the past. The landscape outside was engulfed in darkness, with only the moonlight piercing through the flickering trees. Suddenly, the train came to a sudden halt in the middle of nowhere. My heart pounded faster, and my nerves became tense. I stepped out of the carriage to investigate the reason for the stop, looking around. But there was nothing but eerie silence in every direction. Suddenly, I heard muffled footsteps approaching from the darkness. The train began to shake, as if its very soul was in rebellion. My gaze was fixed ahead, and I saw a figure in a tattered cloak drawing nearer to me. Fear gripped me, and I rushed back into the carriage, desperately trying to close the doors. But they refused to shut, as if the train was a living entity unwilling to release its prey. I frantically pushed against the doors until the footsteps suddenly ceased. Realizing time was working against me, I decided to escape through the window. My hands trembled as I shattered the glass and squeezed through the opening. In one final effort, I threw myself out of the train and tumbled onto the damp ground. Looking back, I watched as the train slowly departed the station, vanishing into the darkness. My heart continued to race, and my sweaty palms refused to calm down. Since that day,
I have never boarded a train late in the evening again.